The bedroom is dark. The person you're married is asleep beside you. And on the nightstand, your phone lights up. And you feel the pull. A union between the masculine and the feminine is an alchemical crucible. It is a vessel designed to hold extreme heat and pressure so that the base metals can be transmuted into gold. They are looking for the warmth of the fire without the discipline of gathering the wood. Every secret message at 2 a.m. is a micro fracture in your energetic container. The fracture is in you. Two people, each hiding from their own fire and calling it connection. Face the fire. Become the gold. That is waiting on the other side of that conversation is worth every second of that heat. You know what the 2 a.m. notification looks like. The bedroom is dark. The person you're married is asleep beside you. And on the nightstand, your phone lights up. And you feel the pull. Not because you fell out of love. Not because your marriage is a disaster. Because your marriage became a room where nobody is fully present anymore. And on the other side of that notification is the feeling of being wanted. And the feeling of being wanted is the most addictive drug a human being can consume. Today, I want to talk about what that notification is actually costing you. Not morally, energetically, architecturally, at the level of what it is doing to your structure as a human being. Most of us were never taught what a real union is supposed to be. Union here is the marriage. We were taught it is a legal contract, a partnership, a mortgage arrangement, two people deciding to share a calendar and split the electricity bill. That is not what it is. In its original design, a union between the masculine and the feminine is an alchemical crucible. Do you know what crucible is? Let me explain. It is a vessel designed to hold extreme heat and pressure so that the base metals can be transmuted into gold. In a real union, the heat is the friction of two egos colliding. The terrifying vulnerability of being fully seen, the weight of being responsible for another human being's well-being. The heat is not a problem. The heat is the point. That heat is what turns two ordinary people into something extraordinary. But for the crucible to work, it must be completely sealed. There cannot be no leaks, no escape hatches, no exit doors left quietly open. Because the moment there is a leak, the pressure drops, the heat dissipates, the alchemy fails, and two people who had the potential to become gold together remain exactly what they were, base metal. Sitting across each other at dinner, having the same conversation about the same logistics they have been having for 4 years. That is the roommate marriage. And it is not the result of falling out of love. It is the result of a sealed vessel with too many small leaks. Each one seemingly harmless, together, however, the death of the fire itself. When a marriage reaches friction, and every real marriage does, historically, humans had two choices. Turn towards each other, endure the terrifying discomfort of being brutally honest with the person sleeping next to you, reignite the crucible. Or have the spine to declare the structure dead. Walk away with honesty. Rebuild separately. Both of those choices require real spiritual courage. Both require standing in the truth. The truth here is the fire. Then a platform was built to offer a third option. The option that requires no courage at all. 10 million users. A platform designed specifically for married people to cheat. In India alone, female signups surged 148% in the last 2 years. But here is what that platform is actually selling. It is not selling sex. 40% of its users never physically meet anyway. They are having digital affairs, texting, emotional dumping, sharing secrets with zero intention of leaving their marriage. 72% of them say that explicitly. They are not looking for a new life. They are looking for the warmth of the fire without the discipline of gathering the wood. They want the dopamine hit of being desired without the terrifying responsibility of facing the person in their own bed and saying, I am not okay, we are not okay, and we need to fix this. That is the escape hatch. And every time a person uses it, they are not just deceiving their partner, they are cracking their own structure. Every secret message at 2 a.m. is a micro fracture in your energetic container. You cannot leak your truth through a fiber optic cable and then walk into your real life and wonder why you feel hollow, why you feel like a performance, why nothing feels real anymore. The fracture is in you. You put it there, one notification at a time. Let me be specific about what this does to a woman and to the man. The woman who opens that app, she is not reclaiming her desirability. She believes she is. But here is what is actually happening. 56% of women on these platforms say they feel more heard and valued by a stranger on an app than by the man they are married. And I understand that completely. Because the man she is married has become a ghost in his own home. He pays the bill, he shows up for dinner, but he has been emotionally absent for so long that she has forgotten what his full presence feels like. Her energy, which is vast, oceanic, sacred, is starving. But the answer she has found is not a feast. It is digital fast food. She is exchanging the depth of her sacred feminine energy for text messages from a man who is hiding in his bathroom to type them to her. A man who cannot offer her real presence because he is already committed to the cowardice of not offering it to his own wife. She is not being desired. She is being used as an escape hatch by another person who is also running from the heat of their own crucible. Two people, each hiding from their own fire, finding each other in the dark and calling it connection. The man. And I need to speak to both men in this picture. The husband who has gone silent, who comes home, open a beer, sits in the same chair and stopped asking his wife how she actually is about 2 years ago. He did not mean to become a ghost. But the masculine has one non-negotiable role in the alchemical union. It is the container, the immovable presence, the one who holds the space. When the masculine goes absent, the feminine has nowhere safe to flow. It freezes into resentment. And a frozen woman will eventually find a crack in the wall to fall through. And then there is a man on the app, the one chasing married women. He is paying for the privilege of being another man's emotional substitute. He's choosing married women specifically because a married woman cannot demand real commitment from him. She cannot ask him to be fully present because she already has a husband for that, even if the husband is a ghost. Both men are running from the same thing. The weight of being truly present for another human being. The husband ran from it inside his marriage. The man on the app is running from it before the marriage even begins. Different stages of the same avoidance. Different costumes on the same cowardice. And now, the part that should stop you cold. A recent survey of users on these platforms found that 49% have chosen to be sexually and emotionally intimate with an AI chatbot instead of a human being. They started by outsourcing their marriage to a stranger on an app, but even that became too much friction, too much unpredictability, too much reality. So they outsourced further to code. AI. A person who began by being too afraid to have an honest conversation with their partner has now arrived at a place where they are too afraid to have a real conversation with any human being. They are cheating on their spouse with a machine. They are so terrified of human friction, so incapable of holding the weight of another soul, that they have chosen lines of code over a living person. They are slowly, methodically training themselves to no longer require the human race. That is not a technology problem. That is a collapsed human architecture that was never repaired at the root. So let me leave you with this. Not a moral judgment, a choice. If your structure is alive, if somewhere underneath the logistics and the silence and the roommate routine, there is still something worth fighting for, face the fire. Close the app. Put the phone on the other side of the room and have the conversation you have been avoiding for 18 months. Not a comfortable conversation, but the real one, the terrifying one, the one where you say, I have not been present, I have not been honest, and I'm afraid that if we keep going like this, I will lose the only person who actually knows me. That conversation is the crucible. That conversation is the heat. That conversation is the thing the app was designed to help you avoid. And if your structure is genuinely dead, if the fire has been out for years and both of you know it, have the honor to say so in daylight, out loud, with honesty, not in the dark, not through a screen, not through a slow, cowardly rot that takes two potentially extraordinary people and turns them into hollow performances of the life they were supposed to be living. In episode 25 of this series, we talked about presence as the highest frequency a human being can carry into a room. The same law applied inside a marriage. The most magnetic thing a man can do for his wife is arrive fully, completely, without the escape hatch. The most powerful thing a woman can do for her union is demand real presence instead of settling for a simulation of it. Presence is not a romantic idea. It is the only raw material from which real intimacy has ever been built. A marriage without presence is just a real estate contract. An affair on a screen is just a dopamine loop. And an AI chat box at 2 a.m. is the final admission that a person has given up on human race entirely. All three are cages, just cages with different names. The crucible was never supposed to be comfortable. It was supposed to be transformative. Two people who could look at each other in the darkest friction of their union and say, I am not leaving, I am not hiding, I am not outsourcing this to a screen. I am here. That level of courage held together is the rarest and most powerful force in human existence. It is what turns two people from ordinary into something that neither of them could have become alone. That is what the 2 a.m. notification is stealing from you. Not your marriage, not your potential. Seal the leak, face the fire, become the gold. That is waiting on the other side of that conversation is worth every second of that heat. Share this with someone whose marriage has gone quiet. Not broken, just quiet. Because quiet is where the leak starts. And quiet is still fixable. This is not an advice, this is the code. See you at sunrise.